are you today? The Mike and the Mad Dog radio program, the 16th day of December, a Thursday in New York, 2004. As we begin another 15 years. Good to have you aboard. All the folks who contributed yesterday, what can you say? A phenomenal job. The behind-the-scenes people, all the fans out there, and the fans who showed up, Eddie Scazzeri, Mark Malusis. 718-937-6666. Mike and Chris will take you throughout the afternoon. Pedro Martinez here in a moment. So we'll get the show off started that way. Good afternoon now, Michael. How are you?
I'm fine, Dog. And before we welcome Pedro in here, let's just say everyone the station did a great job yesterday. They really did. It was we saw a lot of people we hadn't seen in a long time, and I thought the day went off very well. The show was very well organized. It went very well paced. We thank everyone for contributing, including all the people who called up and all the guests we had, and everybody behind the scenes, as Dog said, did a great job. So they did it was a really nice day for the station. It really was.
Oh, it really was. Station did a tremendous job. Well, again, all the fans. It was just
everybody. Yeah, it was just a very nice day.
Above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
Let's put it that way.
We got way too many things bestowed on us yesterday. That's for darn sure.
A couple of lousy talk show hosts who will be a pain in the neck in about 5 minutes.
Absolutely. We got enough stuff yesterday. Dog and I were up in a suite where we had a heist. Yeah. We had like all different stuff from so many different places. It was ridiculous. And how funny will it be in 5 minutes, Dog, when all the time we have spent on this station talking about Pedro Martinez, he will be here. And Cherney came back just a minute ago and said, Mike, we've been doing this for a long time. I've probably done a zillion press conferences. I never saw as many people as this. This was like, you couldn't even fit everybody in a room.
You know, it's funny. He is getting treated like he is still on that level of pitcher, and he's not. Now, it was only for 1 year and a half, but he was not. And he's still getting treated like he's Sandy Koufax. So, to me, there a year or so. If this was 2 years ago, I could see all the hoop and all this stuff. But let's face it, Mike, he's not as good as he's being portrayed by all the attention that he's getting. We've got to be fair. He's just not as good as he was.
No question. But what he is, Dog, is, and you learn that today, too, is he puts the Mets on the map. He is a big star. He is a big copy. He is a big star. This is a city with a tremendous amount of Spanish-speaking people. He is a big star. He's going to be on the front cover of every paper tomorrow. He's got star power. I mean, it's the biggest person they've brought in here since Mike Piazza, without any question.
No question about it.
He has to produce.
Yeah, he's got to win games. To me, it's about winning games.
It is, but also, Dog, it's about giving the Mets, fans a buzz. He does give them star power. They haven't had star power. They've not only been bad, they've been boring. Now at least they have. He's not boring. We know that. Now he's gonna create a lot of fodder. There's gonna be some times, Dog, no one's gonna know where he is. There's gonna be some times he's gonna do some crazy stuff. You know how flamboyant he is, but he's going to be fun. He's going to be a lot of copy and a lot of story for a lot of people. Now the question is, can he go out there and win games?
Mike, from that standpoint, it's a non-debatable move.
And the Mets made it very clear, as Dog and I talked about last night, because this stuff got to us yesterday during the show. The Mets want everyone to know the Cardinals offered 4 years, 50-something million.
Well, I don't know if that's accurate.
I mean, which Pedro's people, I guess, confirmed that they had a 4-year offer.
I ain't buying anything from any agent. And I got to see let me hear Walt Jocketty say
and the Red Sox supposedly really went back in hard even after he turned them down. So, it sounds like here's the one thing. There's no question the Red Sox have done a lot of damage control. They still were pursuing this guy. I think that's pretty obvious. Plus, they offered him $40 million. They didn't, they did offer him a lot of money. They can't act now like they're happy to get rid of him. They pursued him pretty hard.
Mike, I looked at that. That's the agent in Minaya specifically trying to defend the fact that they gave him a 4-year, $53 million contract. They've been pounded everywhere in baseball about the fact they gave him 4 years and, over $50 million. They had to do that to get him away from the Red Sox. That, to me, is the Mets making sure that they are taking themselves off the griddle. Well, we had to because the Cardinals did this, the Red Sox did that. I read everything today. I read Nightingale, who quoted nobody in baseball, Red Sox included, supposedly did not offer him 4 years. Now, did the Red Sox sweeten the pot? Did they try to talk to him maybe on Monday morning and say, we really want you here, blah, 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 maybe. But they did not offer that guaranteed fourth year. And the Mets want you to think they did because they're going to take themselves off the griddle.
No, I never heard anybody say that the Red Sox offered a fourth year. All they said was that the Red Sox were clamoring to still open negotiations with them.
Maybe. But, the bottom line is the Red Sox...
See, the Red Sox can't act now like they've tried to do through a lot of different media outlets, like they either, A, knew he was hurt. If they knew he was hurt, why are they offering him $40 million?
Well, I'll buy all that.
And number two, that they didn't care about him. If they didn't care about him, why didn't they just let him walk?
Again, no.
So, to me, listen, I understand the Mets want to spin it one way, but the Red Sox are going out of their way to spin another way. They did the same thing to Garcia Parra when they got him out of here. They made sure they knocked him on the way out the door, which is fine. But the point is, The Red Sox are spinning it away from a guy they did offer over at least $40 million or more dollars to. You don't act like you don't want a guy if you're offering him $40 million.
Mike, here's the issue to me, though. I mean, Manaya's getting pounded for giving him 4 years, and the agent, I don't take anything the agent says anyway, with a grain of salt, so I don't forget him. Omar has to make you think that there's other teams out there who had a fourth-year deal, because if he doesn't, then he looks silly. He's got no choice. And I don't think the Cardinals, who couldn't pay Renteria, who don't have the money to get Randy Johnson, who didn't sign Woody Williams, I got to see the Cardinals have $50 million on the table for 4 years. Because the Cardinals haven't done that. They haven't done that for a long time.
But
let me see some evidence of that.
Who's going to show us evidence of an offer?
But I'm not going to listen to Manaya, because Manaya says the Cardinals do it. That doesn't mean he's right.
I understand that, but I don't think that's the only person saying it. But I also
it's the agent in Manaya.
But the Red Sox went out of their way to spin the idea that this guy's hurt.
Well, the Red Sox did not give him that fourth year. That's the bottom line.
They still gave him $40 million. If they thought he was hurt, why'd they give him anything?
But they didn't. Here's the point about Pedro. He would not have come to the Mets unless they gave him the fourth year.
I totally
agree.
That's
the bottom line. The Mets are trying to make it sound like, well, you know what? He had other choices. The Mets had no other choices. He came here because he had the fourth year guaranteed. That's the only reason he came to the Mets. And I'm not trying to kill the Mets for overpaying him. They probably had to do so. But he didn't have 4 years, $55 million on the table from the Red Sox. And if he did, he would have stayed there. He didn't have it. Case closed.
That goes without saying from the Red Sox. Did he have it from somewhere else? I don't know. I mean, very unusual.
Who can't sign anybody are going to give him $50
Very
million.
unusual for a guy to stand up at a press conference and talk like that, though. Very unusual. I can't think of the last time I ever heard it. I don't know. Believe what you want to believe. Bottom line is, here's what counts now is he's here. And the Mets gave him a lot of money. They made a major commitment to him, and now it's up to whether he turns the corner.
Yeah.
Does he become the next one in a long line of guys who came here and fell apart?
Right.
Or does he do what Piazza did, which was energize this franchise, which is what Piazza did for years before his career started to decay. He energized the franchise.
Probably half and half, Mike. He'll probably do. I think you and I both agree. I think this first year he'll be good.
I think he will, yes.
DH, no DH, ballpark. I mean, National League, maybe a little something to prove. If he doesn't give you 17, 18 wins this year with a very good ERA, 3.1, 3.2, I'd be very surprised. I would expect that.
I would too.
I think the second year, I think you still get a pretty good Pedro Martinez that second year as well. I think the back end of the contracts is where you're going to have some trouble, because I don't know what I can expect out of Pedro when he's 35, 36 years of age. Now, if you can live with the idea that, he's going to beat to his own drum and have his own set of rules. He killed Schilling today, which bothered me. Schilling went out there in Game 6 with a bad ankle and shut the Yankees down. I mean, he killed Schilling. With the game they had to win, Schilling won the game. I don't know what else you want. And he got on Schilling pretty good today. He shouldn't get Schilling. He's won 2 World Series now, Schilling. That was a little rough. I know Schilling is a tough guy to deal with, but leave Schilling out of it. Schilling did go out there and earn his stripes against the Yankees. What
Pedro's going to find out in a hurry here, dog, is this. He does well, he will be treated like a king. He does badly, he's going to get pounded. That's the way this town is. They're going to come in with a clean slate. We're all going to come in with a clean slate, and if he pitches great, everyone's going to say, boy, you know what, Pedro's pitching great. And if he pitches terribly, he's going to get booed out of the ballpark.
Mike, listen, I think you're 100% right. I don't think it's a... do you think it's overwhelming Met fans loving this move? I don't think it's an overwhelming deal. I think most fans are in favor of it. But overwhelming is like it's a no-brainer. I don't know if it's overwhelming. Do you think it's overwhelming with Met fans on this?
No, I wouldn't say it's overwhelming, because I think it's funny. I think the feeling is that a lot of guys just had in New York have a negative feeling towards Pedro.
Right.
So I don't think it's overwhelming. And I think there are some that feel, you know what, the Mets have gone and got a guy on the downside again. I think there's some of that too. Now, the question is this going to work out more like Piazza, or is this going to work out more like, Roberto Alomar? So you're going to find out.
Right. And Piazza, even in the last couple of years, you can make an argument. Last year was terrible.
But you know what?
The trade. He earned his money.
But Piazza rejuvenized the franchise. They were terrible. He sold tickets. Attendance went through the roof. They went to the playoffs. They went to the World Series. Piazza did his job.
But even his contract, though, he has not been able to live up to the contract on a year-to-year basis, because the last 2 years they would do anything to get rid of him.
But my feeling was, Doug, he paid for his contract in the first years. Their attendance went from 14,000 a game to 31,000 a game in the first year with Piazza. That's worth its weight. It's gold.
But they would do anything to get him off the team. Now.
But you know what? My opinion's always been, and I've said this many times, that no matter what happens, Piazza long ago paid off his contract. He long ago made the franchise a ton of money, and he put them back on a map, which is what they need. A star. Piazza was that star. Now, 7 years later, they need another star. Now, can he be that star? We're going to find out. At least for a couple of years, can he be that star?
It's an interesting call. I wouldn't have done it. I can understand all the reasonings for doing it. I think he's a little bit on the downside. I think he'd be rejuvenated in the NL in his ballpark. I understand that. But he's not the ace that he was. And, you got to deal with that baggage, and he's got a lot of it. And I'd be interested to see how Willie and the Mets deal with that baggage. It'd be very interesting. You're in favor. For the most part, you're in favor of it.
I think the Mets needed a move to energize the franchise. So from that standpoint, I think this will work. I think on the backside of this 4 years, I'm not forgiving pitchers too many long contracts if I can help it. I understand this guy's warranted because of his career. I would say more good than bad. Yes, I have reservations, I admit. I'm worried about his year last year. I'm worried about him breaking down. I think in the short run, he will be a big success. I don't know that he'll be a 4-year success, but I think in the short run, the next year, I think he will be I think Omar will be taking bows for him this first year. I think he'll be a big success this year.
Well, he has to be.
And I think he will be. I mean, if you ask him...
Because he's not going to be good in the 4th year, so he has to keep something.
Forget it has to be. Do you think he will be or won't be a good success this year? Before it happens, do you think... A success, dog, is that...
He will not be 2002, 2001.
No, I'm not asking him to pitch to a 2.1 ERA. No, my point is, will he do two things? Will he win games... And will he create a buzz for Shea Stadium?
I like the second one, Mike. The winning games, his bullpen and all that kind of stuff. I think he'll probably
pitch well. We know what pitching well is.
Yeah, I think he'll pitch well. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think he'll pitch very well. I do.
This first year.
First year.
117. Back after this.
The Fan, WFAN, New York.
I'm Sweeney Murdy with WFAN Sports Flash, sponsored by Ski Stop.
In recent years, there's been pitchers that have been signed to similar contracts that are older. And if you want to win, I am going to go to war with Pedro Martinez.
Omar Minaya says he made a great investment and a great pitcher, not one that's on the downside. Questions about Pedro Martinez, his shoulder, and his durability at age 33. Today, all's well in Mets land, signing Martinez to a 4-year, $53 million deal, introducing him this morning at Shea Stadium. Martinez is the Mets' biggest acquisition since Mike Piazza in 1998. Piazza's signing 98 led to other free agents who helped lead the Mets to the World Series just 2 years later. Minaya hopes the same thing happens this time, and in fact says the superstar free agents have already called and said they want to be Mets. Carlos Delgado is now higher on the Mets list after Richie Sexson signed with Seattle. Football notes, Todd Sauerbrunn practiced today and will play this weekend, says John Fox. The Panthers punter was arrested last night on DWI, released on bail early this morning. Former Nebraska head coach Frank Solich is the new head coach at Ohio University. This report brought to you by Sunoco. Race into participating Sunocos for the NASCAR race car hauler, loaded with mini race car, pit wagon, and accessories, and ready to roll into the holidays, just $19.99, only at Sunoco. With reports every 20 minutes, I'm Sweeney Murdy, WFAN 2020 Sports.
This is Bob Papa. Catch our NFL triple header this Saturday, beginning with the Giants and Steelers at 1:30, followed by the Redskins and 49ers at 5:30, plus the Panthers and Falcons at 8:30. All here on your flagship station for the NFL, The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
On Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
Yes, network, of course, ROW in Albany. Good to have them with us. 590 AM up there in the capital city. And, of course, here's Pedro Martinez, newest member of the New York Mets. Pedro, Christopher Russo, Mike Francesa, congratulations. Welcome to New York. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Our pleasure, Pedro.
Hi, Pedro. How's it feel? I mean, I know you got to cut an umbilical cord there at the Red Sox. It's going to probably take you a little while. This is sort of a happy day, but you also got to be sad about leaving Boston. Give me your thoughts about that.
Yes, I am. I still have a lot of people there, a lot of people that were really good to me. The city of Boston, the fans, and the tradition that they have there, it's always going to be remembered in my heart. And I will always hold, in my heart, the biggest thoughts about the city of Boston and for the time I was there, I don't have any complaints about the city, the fans, and the way things went in Boston, even as of now.
Pedro, what was the deciding factor on coming to the Mets over, say, returning to the Red Sox?
The deciding factor was probably the fact that I didn't feel that the Red Sox should have waited to the last moment to actually try to get Pedro Martinez like a leftover. I thought that the Boston Red Sox have had from me a lot of good things, and that I should have been treated with a little bit more respect and not just waste all the time, about 3 years, trying to get this done, to try to finish my career in Boston. And to wait to the last moment, to the last second, to the last minute wasn't the right thing to do. And I had already given Omar my word that if I wasn't going to work something out with Red Sox, I'll probably go with him.
If the Red Sox had guaranteed the 4th year, would you be a Red Sox today?
Not at the time they did it. Not at the time they did it. It wouldn't change anything.
So the Red Sox did guarantee you a 4th year?
No, they did not. They never did that. They never went even close.
Now, did any other teams offer you 4 years, Pedro?
Yes, some of the other teams did.
Which teams are those, Pedro?
So as I know, St. Louis and
They offered you 4 years, $53 million, or they offer you 4 years and less money?
4 years and less money, but they told me clearly that they wouldn't match, not even close what we were thinking.
Okay, so the Mets, to make a long story short, the Mets did offer you the most money to come pitch for the Mets.
I have no idea. My agent knows those details. But
were you considering any other teams other than the Red Sox and the Mets, Pedro?
Yeah, I was considering St. Louis and Anaheim.
St. Louis
as well.
And Anaheim. Was the Red Sox thing, Pedro, if they had moved in a different way, would you have signed there without the 4th year, or was
yes,
it?
I would have.
You would have.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a feeling that it had maybe no longer it was your team, that now it was Schilling's team? Did that bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. Schilling really earned the respect he's got in Boston, and I don't have anything bad to say about that. I don't mind. My day is every 5 days. I don't mind which spot I pitch in the rotation. I've done it for my whole career, being the number one in almost every team I played, and I understand the responsibility that comes with it. Schilling did have a better year than I did. He had a Cy Young type of year. I struggled this year. What wasn't a bad year? It wasn't a bad year, but compared to the years I'm used to putting up for Boston, it was an off year, and I understand that. But it didn't bother me, the attention that Schilling got. I actually don't like so much attention, and it seems like he does.
Pedro, the Mets, as you probably know, because I'm sure you've examined this closely, have had a terrible history signing big players and having them come here and fall apart, whether it was Roberto Alomar, whether it was Mo Vaughn, whoever it was. So the Met fan has been very, very shaken by that in recent years. For all those years where you were so dominant, right through 2003, and then your year falling down last year to be a good year for a normal pitcher, but not a good year for Pedro Martinez. Should the Met fan be concerned that they won't see the Pedro Martinez of 2002 or 2001 anymore?
I'm not going to prove anything. I got to go to the field, prove what I can do, and show to the fans why they should come and support us. I don't know if you noticed, but when I got to Boston in 1998, Boston had finished dead last. I hope you're listening to that.
Oh, yeah. We know that. We know what you did. You were a great pitcher.
Hey, no one's
No. I don't want to be a great pitcher. I just want to tell you that same year we made it to the playoffs, right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay. I hope I can do the same thing for the Mets. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just saying with a little bit of help and a little bit of health in between all the players and I.
Well, here's the question, Pedro. Was last year a problem physically? I mean, are you the same pitcher physically you were 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, physically I can throw still the same way and pitch the same way and do the things that I can do. I just had an off year compared to the years I normally have. But a 16 and 9, or an 8.
16-9, right?
Yeah, 16-9. It's not a bad year.
No, it's a good year.
but not
But not Pedro-like.
But Pedro,
Not Pedro-like, exactly.
Not and no 2.2 ERA either, like you had in the past.
Yeah.
Pedro, how about this? This would worry some people. 17 starts last year on your normal 4 days rest. 17, half the season, ERA of 5. When you had the extra day off, your ERA was a lot better. We all know that you're a little guy. Sometimes you need the extra time off. But that's a little worrisome. Give me your thoughts on half the season last year, 4 days rest, and ERA of 5.00.
You know, I don't pay attention to those things. I just take the ball whenever they give it to me, and I pitch. The fact that it was on 4 days rest that I had the worst part of the year, well, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older and I'm not as good. If you want to say that, you can say that. But I'm just gonna pitch, do what I can. Now, how many quality outings?
You had some quality. Listen, I have to
say it.
Hey, listen. I'll give you this statistic. Last year, base runners per 9 innings for you was 11.20. The year where in your highlight years, those numbers were in the 7s. I mean, that's for you. That's you were Sandy Koufax for such a long time. I mean, that is a little startling, and the Mets just invested a lot of money in you, so the fans are a little concerned that maybe Pedro's wearing down a little bit.
Well, without a doubt. What do you think? I'm gonna be a 23-year-old all my life?
No, I don't expect that. No,
but I mean, is there? But can they? Do you still feel you can be the Pedro of a couple of years ago?
Well, I don't see why not. Everybody has a little low year in his career. This is probably one year where I was a little low. Let's see what happens next year. I mean, we have to think positive if we want to win. We don't want to start talking negative from the get-go. I think what we have to do now is think positive, think that the things are going to work out good for the team and for me. And if you guys want to wish me well, please do it.
Oh, listen, we hope
we need the Mets to do well. We carry all the games.
We'd love you to do well. Now, the other thing that's funny, Pedro, is that obviously you've had this tremendous rivalry with the Yankees and with this city. It's funny that you now arrive in this city. I'm sure that you had to think about that. Wow, Pedro Martinez going to New York.
Well, yeah, I thought about it, but you know what? I met with the Yankees as well.
Right.
So imagine if I was ready for a challenge, if I met with the Yankees. What do you think would be a bigger challenge? Me playing with the Yankees or playing here?
Playing for the Yankees.
Oh, there we go then.
From a personality standpoint, yes.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. I know how to handle myself, and I know how to do my job. And what I have to do mostly, it's in the field. And that I know how to do.
Pedro, listen, we all know that, and you earned it because you, again, I'm not trying to, we all know how great you're one of the greatest pitchers in history of the sport, and I'm the first to admit that, as is my partner here. But we do have a feeling that there are, at times, a separate set of rules that maybe wears on a manager and an organization a little bit. I know you take a little vacation, maybe leaving a game early, things like that. What's your thoughts about here now in New York with Willie here, a young manager? He's in a tricky spot. You're the Hall of Famer. How about the separate rules for Pedro Martinez?
Who said I had separate rules?
Well, that's the feeling that's the feeling we have.
That's the feeling. You basing your comments on the speculations that you have been hearing from a lot of people. What people don't know is that I have a different regimen of working. And that's what people are talking about. And people don't understand that because they don't ask those questions. They don't want to know what do you do to get ready. They don't want to know any of those things. All they want to know is about the controversies and about your performance and how come you got lit up by the Yankees or by anybody. You guys don't want to know that. You guys don't get in there and watch what we do normally. You guys really overlook our work and our work ethic sometimes. You guys just go about your business, which is help to sell papers and create ratings. We do our thing in there. I work a little longer than the average pitcher. You know why? Because I got hurt in 2001. I did a rehab that demands that I work a little longer. And a lot of people don't go dig on that because they don't want to see that you work hard. They want to build the controversy and create ratings.
When you think of the Mets, what do you think of as a franchise? I know the Yankees you spend a lot of time thinking about. How about the Mets? What's your thoughts about the Met franchise?
This is a franchise that's even though it doesn't have as much tradition as Boston and the Yankees has a very good tradition and very good players pass by here, and very special moments have passed here. And for the bad luck of Boston, one of the biggest moments came in a game against Boston. So I'm fully aware of that, and I hope I can help. I can help change some of the things that have been going on over the last few years.
Was Omar Minaya was he a big factor in this signing?
Well, his word was a big factor.
What do you mean his word?
Well, he committed, and he said that he wanted to get me if he could, to start, sending a message to management and the rest of the league that he was willing to put out a team that was going to be able to compete.
Pedro, do you feel you have something to prove? A little so-so year for you. The Red Sox, let you go. I mean, a lot of people have talked about, the side
Did they
issues.
let me go, or I left?
Well, okay, fair enough. I mean, they didn't guarantee the fourth year though, and they could have done that.
I didn't ask him to guarantee any more years after I took off.
Right, but if they would have guaranteed you the fourth year 2 weeks ago, I think you would have been a Red Sox.
I would have been a Red Sox, yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
If they were to guarantee a third year a week ago, I would have been signed with the Red Sox.
Okay, well,
Are you hurt by how the Red Sox acted?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
But do you feel you have a little something to prove, Pedro? Do you feel that the great Pedro Martinez, with some of the things we talked about here for a couple minutes, that maybe you need to go out there and really show you that you're the old Pedro Martinez in your first year in the National League?
Not to you, but
to yourself.
To myself, yeah. To myself, I would like to stay healthy first of all, with God, in front. And then try to help this team get somewhere and change the thoughts in the fans' view.
Will you miss the Red Sox?
Yeah, I will miss probably the players, my teammates, my ex-teammates, the fans, and the stadium and the tradition that they carry around there. But some of the things that are there, I would not miss.
Fans were good to you in Boston, weren't they?
Yeah, they were very demanding, but they were really good to me. And they respect me a lot, and I expect the same thing to happen here after I give them a reason to.
There you go. You pitch well, they'll love you. You know how New York works. Pedro, welcome. Thanks very much. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thank you, Pedro.
Bye-bye.
All right, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
136.
He's a character.
No, he is. Character is right. 136.
You know what else he brings, Doug? And for right or wrong, not only does he bring a little buzz, a little controversy, he brings a little swagger. Because, Pedro, he's Pedro. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, he didn't like hearing a couple of those things.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, it'd be fun.
I look forward to watching. I've always loved watching him pitch, so I will love watching him pitch. I tell you right now, Doug, I can't remember the last time I thought about going to Shea. I will go to Shea to watch him pitch.
Listen.
I guarantee you. First time he pitches at Shea, I will be there.
Mike, I would think it's going to be that first week of the season. I mean, he gives him a little presence.
No question.
You can't argue with that.
No question.
Can't argue with that.
And I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't even. Shea hasn't been too exciting. First time he pitches at Shea, I will go there to watch him pitch.
Right, I can understand that. So
will you. We're going to sit there and we're going to watch him together.
I'll have trouble with Pedro, but I'll try to look at it with an open mind.
I like that. It's a little feisty. He was good.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I liked it.
137 back after this.
The Fan, WFAN New York.
I liked him.
Mike was into it.
I got a kick out of him because he was spunky.
Yeah,
I like that he was spunky. So did Doug. Doug got a kick out of him.
I did too.
We like guys being spunky. He was spunky on the air. He wasn't boring. He was spunky.
Well, yeah, it's great that the Mets got him, but, as we all know, it's just the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg. They need some offense. We all know what position you guys have been talking about for the last couple of weeks.
Hey, with Pedro comes down to one thing, producing. We get through all this. We get through all the photo ops. We get through all the interviews. It's about him going out and pitching well. If he doesn't pitch well, he's going to get slaughtered. If he pitches well, this town will treat him very well.
Be very interesting to see what the Mets do now with this budget. I mean, are they going to sort of piecemeal it the rest of the way? They put their big outlay in Pedro, or are they going to go, double that and go give, Delgado 50, 60 million?
I think they're going
go get a Lou, give him 10 million. Are they going to do that, or how are they going to handle it?
I think they're going that route, Doug. I think they're going.
Are they going to outbid the Orioles for Delgado?
I think they're going open wallet.
The Orioles will be about 55 million for Delgado. They're going to go 65 million for Delgado. Put him in first base.
I can't tell you they will go that high on him. I can't tell you that.
Because he's the last big offensive player, Beltran not going to get.
No.
So, I mean, he's the last big offensive player I would think they're going to make a run at. Are they going to go that? And they're not going to get Sosa. I mean, they're going to do that?
They're going to be in play. They're going to try and do it. Now, whether exactly where their budget is, I can't answer. But I tell you right now, they're not through spending money.
Paul in Raritan, New Jersey. Paul.
Dog, 4 points why this is a great signing for the Mets. One, it brings attitude and swagger to this team that they haven't had in a very long time. Two, it shows credibility of the Mets, finally, as an organization, willing to spend money and bring a guy here that's willing to win. And I do believe Manaea attract other free agents. Three, you're worried about year 3 and 4? You know what? I'm not worried about that. Year 3 and 4, Pedro could be our 3rd and 4th starter at the time. Who cares? And number 4, another thing I want to say is about Mike Piazza. I think the guy has another good year left in him. I see him hitting 25, 30 home runs, 80 RBIs, 290. Give him another bat around him. Finally, a real bat like a Delgado.
Problem now is he's only going to play 100 games catching. He's not playing first. So you add another 15 games he can pinch hit in. He's only going to catch 100 games.
He got to catch a little more than that to hit 25 homers, 90
that's
RBIs.
the problem. The problem is Mike.
He needs to play 120 games and then 10 more as a DH.
I mean, first of all, Mike hasn't been able to stay healthy in recent years. Secondly, you're going to have to give him not 1 day off a week. You're going to have to give him 2 games off a week. He's too old to catch every day.
I mean, you hope that he could play. I would like to get 120 catching, 42 off. There's 26 weeks in a season, so that's almost a day and a half off a week, and then let them play the 8 or 9 days as a DH. That's what I would like to see.
Oh, he'll definitely play the games as a DH. You're right.
Yankee
I forgot about the DH games. It adds 10 games to a season. You're right. So
but I want 120 as a catcher. That means 130 total. You want 100 games, make 110.
I figure
you and I are about 20 games apart.
100 as a catcher, 10 as a DH. 15, let's say 10 is let's say 15 is a pinch hitter, so it gets him up to like 135 games.
Yeah, pinch hitters only one at bat.
That's only one at bat those games. I agree. There's nothing you can do about it. I think you're looking at.
I'd like to get 120 as a catcher.
Maybe you're looking at 450 at bats, something like that.
Andy Carphone. Andy, what's going on?
Hi guys, congratulations.
Thank you. What's happening?
I want to tell you that listening to you guys over the years has been a difference for a New York sports fan. It really adds a lot of spice.
Thank you, Andy. What do you have on Pedro now?
Okay, from a diehard Yankee fan's perspective, I'm really going to miss him. I mean, he is entertaining, and this is from someone who was ready to put out a contract on him when he does things like body slam Don Zimmer. But I'm really going to miss him in this rivalry. Now, from a perspective of watching the Mets, you have to listen to Omar Manaea's comments at the press conference. He's not doing this for wins and losses over the next 3 or 4 years. He's doing this for the long term, to put fannies in the seats, like you were talking about, Mike, with Piazza, and also for down the line when they're trying to sign that Latin American player who looks at this and says, I want to go to the team that signed Pedro Martinez.
I think that's overblown myself.
I think it's still with most.
99% it's money.
Yeah, you might influence one guy, but for the most part, let's say, there was one guy who loves Pedro who's a free agent and comes here for less money, but the odds are most of the time you're going to have to outbid everybody else to get a guy. This is the way it is. It usually goes to I would say if you track the free agents, 90% of them go to the team gives you the highest bid.
Up through 2002, Pedro lifetime against the Yankees was 8-7 with a 2.72 ERA.
Right.
Through 2002.
Right.
In the last 2 years, the Red Sox were 24-16 against the Yankees when Pedro did not start. 3-9 when he did.
Absolutely. No, he fell apart against the Yankees last couple of years, without any question.
4 o'clock.
And the amazing thing is, he pitched what I think is the best game I've ever seen in my lifetime.
One home run, Chile Davis, 17 strikeouts.
I thought it was the best game I'd ever seen pitched against the Yankees in my lifetime. The other game I would put there would be the game that Maddox pitched on a summer afternoon, which was an incredible
Two-hitter in about
performance.
an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, just an incredible performance.
Update Customer Center. Here's Mr. Sweeney, Sports Radio 66.
All day, every day. We're your flagship station for New York sports and home for Imus in the morning, Sid Rosenberg and Joe Benigno at midday, and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon. We're the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting Station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon at 2 o'clock. I'm Sweeney Emerdy.
There's a lot of New Yorkers here, Pedro, that love you, that want you, okay? So this city is welcoming you, even though there is a part of this city, a segment of this city that may call you that, but there's a lot of parts of the city in Queens, then all over the city that love you. So it's not only public enemy for one side. The beautiful thing about this city is that we have 2 major league clubs, not one.
Omar Minaya reminding Pedro Martinez today that the Who's Your Daddy chants are only in the Bronx, not in Queens, where Martinez is the Mets' big catch, officially introduced after signing a 4-year, $53 million contract. Martinez on the fan with Mike and the Mad Dog leaves Boston with good memories.
The city of Boston, the fans, and the tradition that they have there, it's always going to be remembered in my heart. And I will always hold, in my heart, the biggest thoughts about the city of Boston.
Martinez says he chose the Mets over the Red Sox, Anaheim, and St. Louis. Yankees are expected to wait until next week to announce their signings with Carl Pavano and Jarrett Wright. Football news. Panthers punter Todd Sauerbrunn was arrested last night in Charlotte. DWI, speeding, driving without a license. He was released on bail early this morning. Sauerbrunn did practice today. John Fox says he will play this weekend. Dave Wannstedt has pulled himself out of the running for the head coaching job at the University of Pittsburgh. Frank Solich, formerly of Nebraska, is the new head coach at Ohio University. This report brought to you by Sunoco. Race into participating Sunocos for the NASCAR race car hauler, loaded with mini race car, pit wagon, and accessories, and ready to roll into the holidays. Just $19.99 only at Sunoco. And men and women in our military have relied on the USO of Metro New York. Holidays are especially difficult for military stationed away from family and friends. Please show your support for our troops. Call 1-877-USO-METRO or visit usony.org. It's 42 degrees in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Sweeney Murdy with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for the Imus in the Morning program. Weekdays, 5:30 to 10 a.m.
Dog, Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Hour 2, Mike and Chris, 718-937-6666. I'll tell you, one way I could become a Pedro fan in a hurry, get him on here every week during the season. I'd have a ball with him.
That would be fun. We
Every
could have
Wednesday,
some.
5:05.
He could handle it.
Well, hopefully, Mike. We'll see. A lot of the Boston media says they gave him a pass. Gave him a mulligan, not showing up at Game 6 World Series, playoff series with the Yankees, blah, blah, blah.
I'm sure we'd have our fights, but it would be fun. He'd be worth having on, though. That would be fun.
Oh,
I'd like that because he'd be fun to talk to.
Probably be some cell phones in the Dominican Republic.
I'm sure there would, but we'd be tracking him down looking for, where's Pedro? Where's Waldo? It's where's Pedro?
Here is Tim on the car phone. Tim, what's going on?
Hey, guys, congratulations. Been with you since the beginning.
Good to have you aboard, Timmy. What's happening?
Big Sox fan here. Mike, I can't let you get a pass on this. You heard it from the horse's mouth. The Sox didn't want him for 3 years. They didn't want to give him an extension. They know him better than anyone.
Wait a second. They didn't want to the Sox offered him $40 million for 3 years.
Reluctantly, the third.
Wait a second. If he didn't want him, why do you go back and up a 2-year offer to 3 years and $40 million if you don't want somebody?
Because they owe him.
That's ridiculous. You don't owe somebody $40 million.
You do something for us, though.
You don't owe him $40 million. The idea that you don't want a player, that you up your bid from 2 years guaranteed, we're not moving off that, to 3 years guaranteed $40 million means you want him. You didn't want to go to 4 years. You didn't want to outbid the Mets 4 years, 50-something million. That's fine, but don't act like you didn't want him.
They were eating $12 million. They were going to take the last year.
You know what? Listen, this is the Red Sox cannot spin this like they didn't want the guy when they bid $40 million for him. You want a guy that you bid $40 million for. That's all there is to it. I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't have him now. But don't act like you don't want somebody that you bid $40 million for.
I'm 50-50 on it, Mike. I don't think the Red Sox are shedding too many tears today.
Maybe you're right, Doug. But
I think Francona's.
But they did. Maybe he is. But they did offer him $40 million, and I do believe, because I've heard it from more than one place, Doug, that they tried to get back in after he said he was going to the Mets, and tried to make another offer. Now, I'm not saying they were going to guarantee the 40 year because he said they wouldn't, but they wanted to sweeten the pot a little more, so they still wanted the guy, which is fine. Just admit he left.
Yeah, listen. To me, I think the Red Sox are going to be better off in the long run.
They might be. I don't argue that. But I think it's ridiculous to sit there and say the Red Sox didn't want him.
Right.
You don't want a guy, you don't make an offer on him. You don't offer him $40 million.
Now, they were in a tricky spot because he's been to franchise and they won a World Series and the fans like him. So you're in a tough spot. But it's $40 million. They didn't have to do that.
That's like the Mets offering out like a $20 million and then saying we don't want them.
Yeah, here is Ron in Brooklyn with Mike and Chris. Ron, what's going on today?
Okay, hi, guys. Congratulations. And also, let's remember that this signing of Pedro helps both New York teams. And the last time the Red Sox won a World Series, the star pitcher came to New York, the Bambino. Go Buchanan, go. Go Buchanan, go.
All right, that's our little pal. Mike saw that coming from a long time ago. Tony in Miller Place.
He didn't get it on the air. I knew who it was.
You're better at that than I am with
I knew
that
it was.
with our pal
He
there.
didn't get it on the air.
Tony, go ahead.
How you guys doing? I'm a Mets fan for many years, and I think we're going to hear a lot of the Yankee fans and the Red Sox fans say that neither one of their teams wanted them. I'm particularly happy they got him. I'm just hoping.
Well, wait a second. The Yankees never. You can be honest. Listen, the Yankees wanted him. They would have got him. The Yankees never made him an offer.
I got a lot of
Yankees
fans
didn't want him.
No, I know, but I got a lot of Yankee fans that wanted him. I mean, it doesn't mean that the team was going to get him, but a lot of Yankee
fans. Well, but I haven't heard one Yankee fan who wanted him on the ball.
I didn't either. And I'm a Yankee fan. Didn't want him on the team.
Very few Yankee fans wanted him on the team. Come on,
Now listen, you cannot get into this as a Met fan and say the Yankees wanted him. If Yankees had wanted him, he never would have been a Met. I mean, come on. The Yankees would have. When did the Yankees not get somebody?
Derek Mike is in Palm Beach, Florida. Derek, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Hey, first off, great interview. And, Dog, way to put that right on him and just say, hey, well, then who gave you the offer better with more money? And he had no answer for you.
Well, he brought up Anaheim and St. Louis, so who knows?
Hey,
you got to ask Anaheim and St. Louis.
I thought he answered the question. He said St. Louis offered him 4 years less money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He answered directly, and a lot of us, wanted to know that. That was great, and that's a good call. If the Yankees wanted him, we knew he would have been there. But I was having this discussion with my buddy the other day, and he argued with me when he said, what do you think about the Pedro deal? I said, I think it's okay, but, 4 years, long time. His argument was, what am I, crazy? He's the best available pitcher out there. And, my question to you guys is, do you think he's the best pitcher? And I think that he's going to make an immediate impact. I think he's going to put fans in the seats. And, Mike, like you said, when was the last time you wanted to actually go to Shea and watch anything?
Listen, I think from that standpoint, I think he does add excitement. I would tell you right now, I would go watch him pitch in person. I really would. I admit that.
Now, I know this is going to sound crazy. I think because next year you're going to kill me on it, I think Pavano was a better buy. I think Pavano is a better younger, less baggage, year and a half. He pitched well against I think he's a better buy. Now, the Mets were not going to get Pavano. Now, I'm not trying to say that Pavano's better than Pedro, but I'm looking at the long-term aspect of the contract, not just the first year. The long-term aspect of the contract, it's a gamble because Pavano's got to do it some more. I think Pavano's a better buy.
His Yankee cards are getting a little shaky with the ornament, which we get every year, Dog, because they like when it says, world champion, and you take the little ornament out, put it on your tree. It says world class.
Oh. And I got a...
Because I guess, yes, probably has put this card up before, I would guess. They've seen the Yankee cards.
And I got
so I don't have to display it. But they always give you a little gold ornament they have for years and years. Usually it says world champs.
I got a great Christmas card today from Tom M., whoever that might be. The curse is over. Here is it. A picture of Derek on the cover, upset.
Right. He should have sent it to me.
And then on the back... Manny
is playing. That's good. I like that.
With the
That's
Manny
a very
Ramirez
creative
sign.
card.
And then inside, all the newspaper headlines from the Yankees when they lost the games.
Oh, let me see that.
Take a look at that. That, my friend, is a Christmas card.
That is good. Well, Dog's Christmas card this year of his kids basically looks like a Calvin Klein ad.
It does. I felt the same way. Did you get that yet? Oh, my God.
The kids look great, but I thought it was basically the summer catalog.
That's what I thought, too. It looks a little bit like a summer Klein ad.
Rose said, look, here's Dog's kids. I said, oh, they look great. And I said, wait a second.
Where's my commission check?
Where are they, on the beach?
I felt the same way. Anyway, I know.
Hey, it's a good-looking card. They look great, the three kids, but they're all dressed like in summer clothes.
I felt an interesting point. I could see that. Now, give me your thoughts on that little Halloween.
I guess I should read it first, Doug. There's a poem. I guess it's clean. I don't know. I'll read through it during the commercial, see if we could read it on the air or not. Let's see what headlines we have here.
Oh, the choke's on us. All those things.
They did it, Boston Herald. A World Series ticket, Boston Globe. The choke's on us. Strikeout. Hell freezes over. Babe, your history. The Empire strikes out. Sox cess. Yank this.
Good ones.
Yeah, good headlines.
Oh.
And the Bambino crying. The curse is over. The Bambino can finally rest in peace.
And give Jeter credit. He calls the Yankees yesterday when he won that Mike and the Mad Dog Award, best player 15 years. He wanted to know exactly who was up against and everything else. He prepared for it as he always does. But I don't want to knock Jeter today, but you got to, if you see him on the Red Sox greeting card, forlorn in that dugout, it's a pretty sight. Eddie, isn't that a pretty sight? Take a look. Marky?
Oh, and this is from listen to this, Doug. You ready?
Yeah.
This is a version from this guy, Tom, of Jingle Bells.
Oh, it's a jingle. Let me hear it. Go ahead.
Dashing through the Bronx, the Red Sox had their day, silencing the fans and laughing all the way. Blood on Schilling's leg, making Jeter cry. What fun it was to watch the Yankees season die. Jingle bells, or one of fuzz to watch the Yankees lose today. Okay, the last 4 years have shown the Yankees' days have passed. You Yankee fans must learn no dynasty can last. $200 million spent, but the crown you will not take. Instead of a great team, the Yankees are now a fake. A team full of all-stars, they're baseball's biggest joke. Forever they'll be known as history's biggest choke. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Happy holidays. Let's go, Mets.
There you go. Love it.
Not bad.
Nice job. Here's Timmy in Ronkonkoma. Tim, what's going on today?
Yeah, hello, Mike. This is for you. Yes. You keep saying that the Red Sox show that they wanted Pedro because they offered him $40 million.
Oh, absolutely.
You said that dozens of times. What did the Yankees offer Andy Pettitte?
The Yankees didn't want Andy Pettitte.
They offered him $35 million, didn't they?
The Yankees.
He's not one.
The Yankees cut. The Yankees cut. The Yankees cut their offer to Andy Pettitte.
Said you cannot.
They cut.
Don't want a guy if you offer 40.
Wait a second. Wait a second. The Red Sox. The Red Sox offered more money to Pettitte than the Yankees did.
And he's not. Andy Pettitte is not 1/10 the pitcher that.
Why are we talking? Wait a second. What does Andy Pettitte have to do with the Red Sox?
I'm talking about whether the Yankees let him go or whether he left on his own. He left on his own. They offered 35, and that showed that they wanted him. He left on his own. So he didn't. That the Yankees let him go.
Here's the difference. The Yankees don't ever let someone go they want.
If they want a romance,
did the Yankees want Bernie Williams? Did they go up the last day and offer him $1 million more than the Red Sox had offered him at the last hour?
$35 million. Did they offer Pettitte $35
Yes, but it wasn't even. That's what Houston was offering.
Yes or no? Did they offer?
Hey, listen, I'm not. It doesn't make any difference. The Red Sox offered 52.
Bottom line is, Timmy, the Yankees did not go out there.
That wasn't Pettitte's best offer. It wasn't even close.
The Yankees didn't go out there and romance Pettitte.
The Yankees didn't want. It's a different team. Totally different team. Yankees offered him $35 million because they knew he wouldn't take it. They knew he had offers bigger than that.
Here's Joe in Comac, Long Island. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Joseph.
Congratulations on the show yesterday. It was excellent.
Thank you, Joe.
I got to tell you, Pedro, man, he is very entertaining. He's really, as a Yankee fan, too, I love to hear what he has to say.
It's funny.
The one thing about the press conference today was Minaya, how he was saying how the pitching free agents seem to be out of whack and that the amount of money being paid out is higher than, and that's why he had to pay.
Yeah, he started it. He started it with Benson. He did start it.
He's the one who signed Benson to $21 million.
He did start it.
And I don't blame him on that because they had no choice. They had to make sure they signed.
Yes, the bottom line is the money for this so-so pitcher this year has gotten pretty high.
Yeah, it has. But I don't blame the Mets on Benson. They had a lot invested in it.
What'd you give Armando Benitez? How much money?
21 for 3.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, they gave him $7 million a year.
That's pretty high.
Now remember, the Giants' payroll, they had that in there because Nen was making $8 million, and they had that off the books. So that's where the $7 million came from. 2:17. Mike and Chris back after this.
Big Fan, WFAN New York.
Sweeney Murdy with the WFAN Sports Flash, brought to you by Lexus of Englewood.
I should have been treated with a little bit more respect and not just waste all the time, about 3 years, trying to get this done, to try to finish my career in Boston. And to wait to the last moment, to the last second, to the last minute wasn't the right thing to do.
Pedro Martinez told Mike and the Mad Dog here on The Fan he didn't feel wanted in Boston anymore. That certainly wasn't the case in New York. The Mets offered up 4 years, $53 million, and rolled out the red carpet for their newest ace today at Shea Stadium. Martinez says he considered the Red Sox, Angels, and Cardinals before deciding on the Mets. He left the Yankees off that list despite a face-to-face meeting with George Steinbrenner last month. Omar Minaya says other free agents have already called, hoping to ride Pedro's coattails. Football news, Panthers head coach John Fox says Todd Sauerbrunn will punt for him this weekend. Despite an arrest last night in Charlotte, Sauerbrunn was pulled over on a DWI, speeding and driving without a license. He was released on bail early this morning. Dave Wanstadt pulled out of the running for the Pitt head coaching job. Frank Solich, new head coach at Ohio University. This report brought to you by Sunoco. Race into participating Sunocos for the NASCAR race car hauler, loaded with mini race car, pit wagon, and accessories, and ready to roll into the holidays, just $19.99, only at Sunoco. With reports every 20 minutes, I'm Sweeney Murdy, WFAN 2020 Sports.